Hey guys, today we will finish our heel. At the sides you should still have all those little knots and you should have roughly 1/3 of your initial heel stitches on your needle. We are now going to pick up stitches all along the two sides of the heel. For that, insert your needle into one of the knots and just pull the yarn through. Ideally, you should have the same amount of knots along this side as you have casted on per needle in the beginning. I try to make sure that I don't grab just one thread with my needle while inserting it into the knot, otherwise a hole might form there. On each side, you want to pick up as many new stitches through these knots as you have initially casted on per needle. In my case, I will pick up 16 new stitches. Now that we are in the corner between our new stitches and the next needle, we will pick up one extra stitch right in the corner. This is important because otherwise you will end up with a hole there. So now I have 16 new stitches plus one new stitch in the corner. The next two needles are going to be on the top of the foot, so we are going to knit them in our braiding pattern. Be careful, you need to continue your pattern right where you left off, otherwise you will see a break here. Before I started knitting the heel, I had completed my braiding pattern, so in this round I will start the pattern again by knitting a braid round. If you don't remember what our braiding pattern was, you can watch the video for the leg part of our sock here. Try to make the first stitch of your needles a bit tighter than usual, otherwise those stitches might become looser than the rest, which will disrupt your pattern. Now we will pick up the stitches on our other side. This time we will start in the corner, so first pick up the extra stitch by inserting your needle into the corner and pulling the yarn through. After that, just use the knots to pick up the stitches like we did on the first side. So just insert your needle into the knots and pull the yarn through. You should pick up as many stitches as you did on the first side, so in my case that means 1 stitch in the corner and 16 stitches along the knots. The round ends at the back of the foot, so I will knit 6 stitches from our first needle to have the same amount of stitches on our first and last needle, and also to get the beginning of our round between those 2 needles. Now we will knit 1 round of knit stitches. Keep in mind that we are knitting knit stitches along the 2 heel needles, but are also continuing with our braiding pattern on our top needles. Everything we are doing to shape the heel will happen on the heel needles, so on the first and the last needle, and the top needles will be completely independent of that. In the next round, we will start decreasing. First knit until you get to the last 3 stitches on your first needle. Now, knit the next 2 stitches together. Knit the last stitch. The next 2 needles are our top needles, so just continue the pattern. From now on, we will decrease in every 3rd round. In the rounds between the decreases, we will just knit normal knit stitches along the heel needles. Since you will now have to keep track of where you are in your decreasing and also where you are in your braiding pattern on your top needles, I advise you to either use markers or write down your rounds on a piece of paper. I guess the easiest way is just to mark your braid rounds and then also mark the rounds where you decrease. Now knit 1 stitch and then knit the next 2 stitches together. Knit until you get to the end of the round. So, to decrease, you will knit 2 stitches before the last stitch on your first needle together, and you will also knit the 2nd and 3rd stitch on your last needle together. We will decrease in every 3rd round until we have the same amount of stitches on our heel needles as we have on our top needles. So in my case, that means 16 stitches per needle. In the next video, we will knit the foot of our sock, and then it is already time for the toes. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.